Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to welcome you to our international roundtable that is being conducted now before the largest Russian metalworking exhibition, Metalloobrabotka 2021. Right from the start, I would like to thank you for your participation in our event. I would like to introduce myself. I am Sergei Selivanov, First Deputy Director General of Expo Center Fairgrounds. As you know, Expo Center is one of the largest B2B exhibitions organizers in Russia, and over the 60 years of its history, the company conducted more than 600 exhibitions like oil and gas, healthcare, Prodexpo, metalworking, World of Children, Russian Industrial Week, and many others. Many of Expo Center events have been awarded the UFI International logo. Today we are going to discuss the topics that are very topical for the machine engineering industry, is how to localize that production in Russia, transfer of technology, digital tools in mechanical engineering, new tools, online and hybrid exhibitions, and other hot topics. Despite the fact that back in 2020 there was a downturn in the global economy, many industrial enterprises need new sources and new markets, as well as contracts. So the professional approach to promotion and communicative policy is a good thing to extend demand of consumers, and exhibitions are among the most effective tools to restore economies from COVID-19 and increase the company's status at the global market. 2021 is going to be unique in the exhibition industry. The new trend for hybrid events would add to usual events, and would also be a part and parcel of any event. Being a little bit forward of the demand, the Expo Center has organized its own online studio to increase the level and quality of any event, and you can judge it today. We are here in that studio. One of the milestones of that event is going to be the 21st metalworking exhibition called Metalloobrabotka 2021. For the feedback from consumers and visitors, we know that the industrial community has been waiting for that exhibition because we had to postpone the previous exhibition to this year. Expo Center is going to prepare lots of updates. We will have new sections, fora, and conferences, including hybrid format. The exposition of the exhibition will be increased. In 2019, Metalloobrabotka came to a new level. We're now supported by the Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade, and we are grateful for that. Not only for that event, but for a systemic approach of our own exhibition events held at Expo Center. Colleagues, I am confident that our roundtable will be a good one today, and I would like to give a floor to the Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade of Russia, Mikhail Ivanov. Thank you, colleagues. Hello, everybody. I'm happy to see you from the city of Kazan, and I'm very happy on behalf of the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russia to welcome you to that international roundtable dedicated to the potential and vistas of metalworking and mechanical engineering industry. In advance of our major industrial mechanical tool and machine tool exhibition Metalloobrabotka 2021 to be held in Expo Center Moscow. You know that the Ministry of Industry and Trade today has been pretty actively working on that exhibition area. We have a plan of 280 exhibitions for this year, and Expo Center accounts for 30 of that number. I have also familiarized myself with the list of today's round table participants, and I have counted many more than 10 countries' representatives today. It's very good, despite the conditions that we have to work today due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Still, we are having a chance to talk to each other, and I hope that the conference and further events give us a new opportunity to discuss the machine tool industry and cooperation with foreign countries. You know that the Russian government is paying special attention to the machine tool industry, and back in 2020 there was a strategy approved for the industry development before 2035 with major priorities given a given today's wide representation from our international colleagues. I would like to point out a few things. First of all, we have segmented approach to localization requirements for machine tools production for domestic market and for exporting to foreign countries. So to produce machine tools in Russia and export them internationally and to enjoy support from the government, you have to comply with the lighter rules for localization. So it means that it's a new opportunity to just streamline cooperation links with our international partners in terms of supply of spare parts for ready-made machine tools. So that all would contribute to the fact that Russian companies would be having a chance to fit in into global supply chain management systems. Apart from that, we have updated a support mechanism for technology transfer and investment attraction. You know that here in Russia, there is the so-called Special Investment Contract Institute, the mechanism that was established to guarantee to technology investors, to guarantee them conditions to deliver projects in Russia. We provide tax exemptions and other benefits. You all know that. And this year we have already conducted the round table. So we have defined 10 lines of activities. We approved them for special investment contracts, and they also apply for machine tool industry. A good example of how to use all those things that I have mentioned is Ulyanovsk Machine Engineering Factory. This is a DMG Mori subsidiary. You know that the Ulyanovsk factory is actively developing. It is a member of a special investment contract, and this is a good, example of the fact that we can produce here in Russia and we can export to other countries. Generally, I would say that back in 2020, we have, as the Russian government, has provided support of about 0.6 billion rubles for machine engineering and metalworking companies, especially localization of foreign technologies as well as projects that have been delivered under the support mechanisms. So once again, I would like to underline that machine engineering industry and machine tool industry is a priority for us, and we do hope that Metalloobrabotka 2021 would improve our skills and cooperation. And I hope that it's going to be a win-win collaboration with you when our foreign colleagues would be interested and incentivized in such joint projects. So once again, please welcome to Moscow from the 21st to the 28th of May. I hope to see you soon face to face to discuss specific projects and our goals and objectives. Thank you. Thank you, Mikhail. for such a wonderful welcome remark. And I'm sure that the people are missing live communication, and under the business curriculum, we will be able to discuss all those issues that you have just mentioned in terms of the industry support, the Russian government support, as well as international cooperation. Once again, thank you very much. There are some changes in the agenda, and I would like to give a floor to the Deputy Director General of the Agency for Technological Development, Daniel Kaplanov. Daniel, hello. Hello, colleagues. Just a few words about services that we as an agency provide for you, why they can be helpful to the machine engineering enterprises. The Agency for Technological Development is trying to help Russian companies to transfer technologies from international companies to our agency has three lines of activities. First is the Center of Technology Expertise. Our agency is a one-stop shop for industrial enterprises, for expert evaluation, for technology transfer and support of those projects. Second line is this Center of Competence for import substitution and localizations for energy industry now, and that sector would also be overlaid for machine engineering and metalworking centers. So we need to localize production. We have to define the list of critical technologies and localization plans and development of industrial policy guidelines. The center has been operational along with the Ministry of Energy and Ministry of Energy of Russia for oil and gas industry, and we are going to expand that cooperation. The third line of activities that I'm responsible for at the agency is the International Fund for Technology Development. The agency is a manager of that foundation or fund. The fund is organized by the government and International Cooperation Bank. So we are a direct investment fund for such projects. So we are an equity company for those companies who transfer international world-class technologies. So our task, using financial and other tools to engage first-class international licensor solutions. If research and development is not being conducted within Russia, I would say that all projects of the fund with private equity, private capital, is a direct spending. That could be interesting for international licensor and your partners in Russia that would like to localize production here. The money is given to buy equipment, special purpose equipment, and adaptation of purchased technologies. The check of the fund is 150 million up to 1 billion rubles per project, and investment priorities are in line with all high-tech lines of the Ministry of Industry and Trade. This is the advanced mechanical engineering, including microelectronics and new materials. Second is the medical and healthcare goods, and third is resource energy saving and best available technologies. So the typical project for the fund is the availability of a Russian stakeholder who knows international advanced technologies that it needs for its production. So we just pack a project with a licensor for us, and we fund for that technology transfer purchasing, and we use our money to localize production here in this country. So basically, summing up, the agency has been working as a complex company to transfer technology solutions for Russian corporations and companies. So from the market analysis, selection of technologies to the direct funding of a certain project. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Daniel. And we do hope that under the curriculum of that business program of the exhibition, we will have an expanded view of your agency's activities. Distinguished colleagues, we know that the exhibition is one of the most effective mechanisms to promote produce to international markets and we have to cooperate with the Institute for Development operating in Russia to support exports. This is the Russian Exports Center. And I would like to give a floor to the Business Mission Director of that center, Pavel Shabalov, for him to tell us about his experience for external market exports.
Good afternoon. Thank you for invitation. I'm briefly willing to speak about the agenda which has been brought, which is implemented to support our product at the outer markets. We act within the decree taken by the Russian government in 2019, which envisaged financing of the expenditures of Russian companies taking part in international exhibitions and fairs. In the framework of this program, the government refunds expenditures for participation in exhibitions and also to implement a business program. This is done to bring higher interests of foreign partners to take part in the exhibitions. And the Russian government is ready to compensate 100% of expenditures for a rent of exhibition floors and to build up and bring up samples of products to be exhibited 80%, and for large size companies 50% of expenditures. Unfortunately, in 2020, this program has been largely impacted by the pandemic, and we were forced to stop this activity. In the beginning of the year, took place only 12 events, and then we started moving ahead using new rails. And urgently we delivered the new option to coming into online. It seems to me that we succeeded in doing this in quite a limited period of time. In the beginning of May and June, we developed a product which is titled the so-called turnkey product. We stayed in touch with main players of the market, and we succeeded changing the format. We left the content unchanged. And key significance is given to organization of business meetings, of specially oriented meetings, which brings finally to signature of trade contracts. And your response into the program has been focused on some events being deprived from live contacts, but nevertheless we succeeded in doing this. Moreover, online format in turn gives new advantages for companies, because first we are able to be more flexible to industry and geographical coverage. We are not related with any limitations given to any specific exhibition to organize negotiations, because the agenda is very tough. And during online meetings, exhibitions go on during a month, and companies may select optimal time to meet the buyer, to select optimal time for meeting, and if necessary, new additional communications and negotiations may be conducted. In the framework of this program, we deliver also interpreters, and in general, as it seems to me, we succeeded bringing this program onto new rails. And judging to results of last year, events which were very successful among exporters, approximately 400 companies in third and fourth quarters of the year. Sector of the branch and geographical was very wide. I'm also willing to focus on to results of activities of the company in machine building industry, which came to the end in December last year, and 18 companies took part in this exhibition, and more than 100 negotiations took place with the geographical coverage was quite wide. And on the results of the event, we conducted close monitoring and analysis of negotiations conducted, and according feedback from exporters, potential of the meetings which they conducted, more than 100 meetings, potential of such meetings which needs to go to contract was equal to 3,980 billion rubles. So quite good conversion, and we understand that the export cycle in this industry branch is quite long, and for coming to the contract, 2 weeks is not successful. This is a long-standing program. So we anticipate that preliminary agreements and contracts will be converted into export contracts. I'm also willing to say about one important tool which has been launched at the end of the last year. This was so-called compensation model for participation in the exhibition, which anticipates compensation of the expenditures taken by the exporter in the framework of the exhibitions where there was no exposure of a collective booth. In our understanding, this is personal participation of the company in any specific exhibition. We long developed this program, and demand was not quite high because there are exhibitions and industries where it is not meaningful making special niches and booths inside any specific exhibition in the industry, because 2 or 3 companies only take part in the exhibition. So at that time it was not possible to compensate expenditures. Now this possibility appeared, and with the market we analyzed the cost of participation which may be compensated. We established at the level of 700,000 rubles and for average entrepreneurship, and to 2 million rubles for middle and large-size company. At the same time, compensation may cover 3 exhibitions during a year. So maximal coverage taken by the company will be 2 million rubles for middle large-size company and 3 million rubles for large-size company. So expenditures which may be compensated, this is rent of exhibition floors and expenditures and registration fee. So we worked closely with the industry, with associations and companies, and finally we came to this format. And regarding this year, coming back to the issue of our evaluations during nearest future, from beginning of this year, we succeeded in conducting one event, exhibition of Moscow in United Arab Emirates. Unfortunately, pandemic doesn't allow us making it full scale and organizing another exhibitions. And until now, boundaries continue being closed in the country, and aviation contacts are banned. So online mode, this format will continue being a good alternative for serious communication and negotiation. In particular, exhibition TR in area of rural developments in China will be a so-called hybrid format. So for companies having a representative in China, we'll have booths in the exhibition, and for other participants, we will try to provide online participation using temporary moderate technical facilities, because we track very seriously exhibitions which were conducted in China, and we hope that our participation there will be quite successful. And separately, I am willing to focus on nearest online events of this year. This year, we plan to, in July and November, to conduct in online format heavy industry of South America, which will take at the end of July. And International Week in November, and it will last till October the 2nd. And we count that quite serious intention of many companies will be heard. And the exhibition which were mentioned will show good results. So I call companies to submit active applications for participation, and we launched the system, information system of a single window, where we have electronic format for submission of application, quite simple, and we fully come to digitalization of the application format. In conclusion, I would like to express an optimism regarding forthcoming times that finally we will go back to full-scale offline exhibition, because live communication is much better. Nothing may substitute it. And from point of view of organizers of export center, organization of such events in Russia is very interesting, and we will be so-called conductors of a new format, and will provide new technical and organizational facilities. Many thanks to you, and I'm willing to say that participants of the exhibition, they are always optimists. Many thanks for program speech. I'm willing to say that gratitude is given to all of you by all participants. You do not stay still. You find new formats for conducting events, and you bring new measures for support to take into account feedback with exporters, taking international experience, and our foreign colleagues understood that we are speaking now about measures of support of Russian participants of foreign exhibitions, and such measures of support are implemented in known countries, and similar examples in countries participating in our today's roundtable. So we thank you, and we do hope for further cooperation together with you. And now I would like to give the floor to Program Director of Russian Technological Agency, Alexey Anatolyevich Kamenev. Mikhail Igorovich, in his opening speech, mentioned issues of localization, and serious attitude is given by Ministry of Industry and Trade. I would like to listen from you and your opinion regarding this thing. I'm willing to add shortly that the decree taken by the Russian government, which determines localization of foreign tools and machines to be produced in Russia, I will say that during last year we studied approximately 200 applications. The ministry delivered the conclusions about possibility of involving local production to 68 applications. In principle, I have nothing more to add, and our decree gives a good description of current possibilities, and many changes took place, which gives more details and clearer picture. Many thanks, colleagues. I am willing to add that Chamber of Trade and Industry will play a significant role and will submit necessary explanations if required. Coming back to the topic of our roundtable, let me remind you that we dedicated it to forthcoming in May from 24th to 28th largest exhibition, metal processing, Metalloobrabotka, and to have good representation of this exhibition about new tools, about new possibilities under pandemic to promote the products. I am giving the floor to the head of own exhibitions, to Evgenia Guseva, for speech. Dear colleagues, dear friends, we had an occasion to negotiate in offline during 2019 in Hanover, And now we have such occasion, but nevertheless, we thank you for finding a possibility to join us. I will try to say shortly what we managed to get during exhibitions this year. Exhibition Metalloobrabotka traditionally will take place from 24 to 28 May. This year, we'll have 600 industrial companies from 25 countries at the square, more than 35,000 square meters, 400 Russian and 200 foreign companies. Such companies will be among them like Gallica, I mean companies which already confirmed their participation: Mitsubishi Electric, Mazak, Salvanini from Italy, Amada, Ermle, Horn, Hoffman Processing Tools, Trans. We may mention many companies. I tried just mention the companies which traditionally takes part, and this year they're intending to take part. Russian companies confirmed participation: Stan, Laser Center, Machine Building Industry, Kalashnikov, Stankoprom. I mentioned only large companies. Besides, there are many other participants with which we work for many years. 70% of participants work in metal processing industry, 47% in area of general machine building industry. This year, the exhibition, more than 20 sectors will be presented, and I'm willing also to speak about new exhibition of new sectors. Absolutely new will be a sector of industry 4.0, and 25th of May there will be a conference dedicated to this topic. The event will take place in a hybrid format with direct broadcasting to YouTube. Experts will get the possibility to discuss general trends in the metal processing and will demonstrate modern software and implementation of innovations into production. In one of the topics during business program, which will be conducted in the framework of this sector, which will be discussion of the role of architectural memory in this event. Digitalization will be located in the Pavilion 4, and traditionally in this pavilion China has been located, but unfortunately it is not possible to them for come here. In the Pavilion 8 there will be new sector, objective technologies, which was located in Pavilion 5, because it will be presented in absolutely new format. So in parallel with we'll have a wide business program during 4 days international conference, Industry 3D. The event will unite integrators, users, professionals on the single ground. This conference will take place with the participation of Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade, Almaz and Take Concern, GK Roscosmos, and the format of the event. I stress again, this event will also take in hybrid format, which will allow to Russian and foreign companies to share experience in using of new technologies. This year, the conference will take place in this non-unstandard format. We will have a day of association and users of technology, day of engineering, day of science. I'm also willing to say a couple of words what national exposition will take place in this exhibition, Metalloobrabotka 2021. National Exposition of Germany, National Exposition of Switzerland, which are organized with the support from Switzerland. Also, National Exposition of Czech Republic, Association of National Exposition of Belarus. And we also combine collective exhibition of Italy this year. Earlier collective exhibition has been made by Chile. This year, local time. We'll see what will happen. A majority of companies will become permanent participants of the exhibition, and 90% of companies take part in Metalloobrabotka in annual mode, and we always find difficulty in selecting right areas. This year it is possible to take part in the exhibition because 30,000 is less than 45, which was 2019, and we wait for everybody. The business program of the exhibition, which will take place right after the opening of the ceremony. It will be opened by Forum of Ministry Industry and Trade, where we will discuss modern trade. In the framework of this forum, sections will take place about cognitive technologies, hand tools, welding, and neighboring technologies, processing of surfaces. Majority of business events will be broadcasted in online. They will all be hybrid for companies which may not take part in Metalloobrabotka. They will have an occasion to take part in our business program. In 2021, our company's export center added new sectors. Every company has an occasion to remotely take part in the exhibition using an online office.
Those who have used that online office have already provided good feedback to us. Well, this is a video communication stand, so you can just rent 4 square meters with full connectivity, or you can just take any, square meters and just to order certain equipment. And that services has been in demand. We have already tested that. We have sold it to Photonica exhibitors recently, exhibition, to 2 German companies, and only good feedback we got from them. I would like also to thank our partners, the international associations that are traditionally supporting our Metalloobrabotka exhibition. You're welcome to visit us, and we hope that 2021 would be a bigger year, and we would see yourself face to face. Thank you. Vielen Dank. Thank you, Yelena. After a long just break, this is one of the first offline events, and people are keen of talking to each other directly. And I'm talking to our international colleagues. We do hope that many of you, both association members, would have a chance to see ourselves face to face, to visit the exhibition, and to get a visa to just attend our events, and all information would be provided to you from, our authorities. And we are among a few countries that have already started its Congress activities offline. And we hope that if we comply with all necessary measures not to spread coronavirus, we could be a good example for other countries to resume its activities there. So thank you again, and I would like to suggest questions and answers. If you may have questions from those who are in the studio, you may ask your question now, and then we could switch to the second part of our roundtable to give floors to our online participants who are there by video conference. Okay, colleagues, do you have any questions to the previous speakers? Well, we will have another chance to have a Q&A session. And now I would like to start the second part of our event, and the floor goes to the Executive Director of the German Association of Machine Building, Verband Deutscher Werkzeugsmaschinenfabriken, for online events. Mr. Schäfer, the floor is yours.
Together, I would just share my screen with you. Okay. I hope you can see it. Okay. We are all caught by the pandemic since about 13 months now, and with, of course, a clear impetus on our trade show business. Here we are all in a lockdown. I think only Mr. Wang Liming, congratulations. You could run the CIMT show just recently. So, but all the other organizers in the most major exhibition countries are still in a trade show lockdown. On the other hand, we have experienced that companies on one side, but also we all as trade show organizers tried to find alternatives in digital formats. And here I just brought up the questions with all these experiences and the expectations of companies and us as organizers. Do we see a transition of trade shows into the web? Okay, let me see. Well, I think it's not moving, huh?
Так, коллеги, что-то не работает, не движется.
Wait a second. Okay. For whatever reason.
Unfortunately, we are not ready yet for online format, as I see.
Well, I cannot continue my presentation for whatever reason. I don't know.
Но если можно, вы озвучьте, пожалуйста.
Well, if possible, Herr Schäfer, could you please just say what you wanted to show?
Okay. Well, first of all, looking into the learned situation of the
Господин Шефер, извините, мы могли...
Mr. Schäfer, we could display your presentation. Just tell us which slide to show, and we can do that from our studio.
just the second slide. Okay, great. So first of all, I want to reflect on our learned business. Running trade shows, our exhibitors have specific objectives, presenting products and solutions, generating leads, increase customer loyalty, of course, on the show, having business meetings with customers, dealers, suppliers, also just discussing about solutions in detail, and also running or presenting themselves and having branding activities. So to do all this trade shows is a classical marketing tool, and they are running classical marketing behavior and tools. It's a learned behavior. This is important as well on the side of the exhibitors and also on the side of the customers and visitors. And of course, in the last years, we have seen that the companies are using digital tools on their booths, but which is a different thing to what we are talking now. So next one. Okay, could you just click the next step? Yeah. So on the other side, the exhibitors have expectations, which are also, let's say, learned throughout the years and participation to trade shows. So they expect the number of visitors depending on the show. Out of the numbers, the empirical values they know on a national and international basis. They expect generation of project or finalization on projects with customers on the show. They expect number of new leads. And out of this, they can calculate the costs per lead, which is also important depending on the invest they have to take. And what is very important concerning the customers, there is a trusted business behavior. So customers go to the show, go to the booth, exchange their views and solutions, exchange their business cards. So this is a classical behavior. Nobody thinks and talks about it. But if you now look into the digital world, what we have seen in the last 13 months, some aspects which we might have not expected are different. So you can take the next chart. Okay, so Yes, we are all running digital alternatives, the companies themselves, but also we as organizers. What we have to see is that there's a large variety of digital tools, with different potentials and different things you can do, just meeting tools, 3D or 2D exhibition tools, and so on and so forth. This is fine on one side. On the other side, it is increased effort, especially for small and medium-sized companies, to get the knowledge about all these tools, depending on the exhibition or internet event they are taking part. So this is not so easy for the SMEs. If you want to have real high-end presentations, especially in product presentations and so on and so forth, even if they are three-dimensional, it also has high costs. This is also a problem for SMEs. You have restricted possibilities depending on the tool, of course, and very important aspect, the people on the exhibitor side, they need new competences in communication. Because it really not works when we have a webinar, when we have other presentations, that you'd have your classical sales talk. This does not work. And it is also not so easy to have real B2B meetings, networking aspects via the internet. So the orientation to find the right tool is a problem for SMEs. You need to generate fascination to tie the visitor who is digital to your presentation, and you need to generate trust, what you do not need to do when you have a normal trade show, because this is a learned situation, as I just mentioned. Please, the next step. And what we have experienced for the digital visitor behavior, that we have very impatient digital visitors. So if you start your classical sales talk, talking a little bit about the company and the history, 50% of the digital visitors to a webinar, they will not stay, they click out. It's not fascinating. You really need to tie the visitor from the first second. Otherwise, you will be frustrated from the participation you will see at the end. So that's why I call it, there's a low inhibition level to step out very fast. The average stay is also a question mark, very different depending on the company, on their presentation. And this is also different from a trade show. People have decided to go to a show, and then they stay there for 1 day or 2 days, and they have the time, and they use the time to go into the hall and to the booth. But in the internet, if they are not really tied up, they leave because they have not used their time to travel somewhere. They are just on their desk, that's all, It's also different behavior, even if it's the same people. Then visitors are very cautious, and this specifically to the data regulations. The same people who walk up to a booth and hand out their business card will not click and hand over their data due to the data law registrations in Europe, for example. It's very difficult and very different behavior from what is our expectation in the B2B business on a trade show. Also, you need to generate, this is our experience, a kind of an event feeling. If it looks like the internet page of a company, you can do this every day. Why should I go to the trade show? I could also go to the internet presentation of the various companies I'm interested in. So also this is something we, at least we as an organizer, are thinking about what is the fascinating aspects of a internet trade show or whatever you want to do in the internet. And finally, when we talk about the results, was it successful or was it not successful? There is no benchmarks at the moment of numbers we know about, number of visitors, number of clicks, number of staying on the booth or and so on. So the data analytics and then the feedback to our exhibitors is not so clear. And everybody is now analyzing this different at the moment. So next slide. Okay, empty. Okay. So to just summarize this, of course, digital tools will support trade shows in the future. This is no doubt. We are all thinking about this. We just heard about the hybrid possibilities. But of course, they will not replace trade shows in the field of capital goods. This is our clear feedback from the companies or the exhibitors we are talking to. But finally, between the organizers internationally, similar to what we communicate with trade shows, square meters and visitors, exhibitors, and so on, we need to harmonize the data so that we can have benchmarks, and also our exhibitors have benchmarks on the success of a digital format. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schäfer. Vielen Dank for such a wonderful and detailed presentation. I agree with you in all. We do hope that, and we consider that given the digitalization of economy, the business processes, they have increased since last year due to pandemic. We know that the exhibition activities should transform. We have to take the best from the digitalization, but live format and face-to-face meetings will not be replaced. And I can make a joke. As my colleague told me from Germany, he is an expert. He's a very respectable person. He would say to me that online exhibitions is like online shower. It will never replace the physical shower and water. So thank you again, danke. And please be reminded that we are not just discussing the exhibition activities, but the machine engineering and machine tool developments, as well as the potential of international and Russian markets. And this topic will be covered by Director General of the European Association of Machine Engineering Industry and Associated Technologies, Mr. Philip Geertz. Mr. Geertz, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I will also try to share my slides. I hope it will work. Okay, do you see it?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. You're all safe and well. In my presentation, I will provide a brief overview of the European machine tool industry in the context of trade, as well as some important questions that we advocate you requested me. As you know, CCMO represents globally the common position of European industries and related manufacturing technologies, and promotes cooperation with other organizations worldwide. We bring together 50 national associations of machine tools builders, which represent approximately 1,500 industrial enterprises in Europe. And CCMO covers more than 98% of total machine tool production in Europe and 33% worldwide. If you look at the figures for 2020, they certainly reflect a difficult year for the whole world. The impact of the coronavirus outbreak resulted in a short but very strong recession in most countries. Production within the CCMO group was down by minus 27% in 2020. The global decline was minus 20%. However, if we look at the shares of the global machine tool market, with 19.7 billion euros in sales in 2020, Sesimo still holds the largest share of the global machine tool market, 33%. China follows with 29%, with 14%, and after them, then the USA, South Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, and Russia. Like other parts of the world, in 2020, due to the rapid decline in industrial demand and output, exports of Sesimo countries decreased by 27% compared to 2019 volumes. Moreover, imports of Sesimo countries fell by minus 30% compared to 2019 volumes. The total trade balance is 22.6% lower than in 2019. If we look at the major export destinations of Sesimo countries, we can see that Sesimo's top 10 export destinations generate more than 73% of total exports. The table shows lower levels in almost all target countries compared to 2019. The 6 largest destinations are the United States of America, the share of almost 22%, China, Russia, India, and Mexico. As we can see, 6% of Sesimo's total exports go to Russia. Russia is the 4th most important export destination country for Sesimo. Here we can see Sesimo countries' key imports destinations. We can see that the 6 main import destinations cover over 86% of all Sesimo imports. These countries are Japan in first place, then China, Taiwan, United States, and South Korea. Japan holds the largest share of Sesimo imports with around 31%. As I've already said, Russia is the 4th largest export destination country for Sesimo. After steady growth in exports in 2017, 2018, and 2019 with an average of 4%, we see a visible decline in exports in 2020. On the other side, if we compare imports from Russia, Sesimo countries recorded a significant increase in 2019 and in 2020 by plus 17%, with a total amount of 12.8 billion euro, highest level since 2016. Generally, we can see growth of international trade between Sesimo countries and Russia, with Sesimo hopes to establish an even stronger footing in Russia for their member companies to develop and sustain their business. Updated information about the global trade outlook will be given during our press conference during EMO Milano. To conclude, I wish to emphasize that Sesimo wants to strengthen EU-Russian cooperation in the fields of research, development, and innovation. And Sesimo promotes innovation and exploitation of research results, and this in cooperation with other international organizations. International cooperation is one of our top priorities, and we are open to closer cooperation with Russian and global machine tool associations. Data interchange gives us a faster and clearer picture of how the industry is changing. With our partners, we already have some international data exchange projects, and we would love to have more organizations involved in this project. And in the end, from our experience, we know that exhibitions provide us with an additional opportunity to develop better cooperation between organizations and the entire machine building industry. As you know, EMO is registered trademark of Sesimo. It is the largest international trade show for the machine tool industry, and the next edition of EMO should take place in Milano from 4 to 8 of October this year. Thank you for your time.
Спасибо, господин Гирц.
Thank you, Mr. Girtz, for participation, for your speech. We do hope that the exhibition which you mentioned now will be held, and the figures which we have seen proves again that exhibition activity and large exhibition are very efficient tool in restoring not only economies and also trade and economical relations between countries. And we do hope that forthcoming projects in Italy, in Russia, in Europe will assist in restoring trade relation. And taking into account of tool which has been mentioned by our Russian colleague from Expert Center, we do hope that national producers of machine tools may take part in the exhibitions in the world. Many thanks to you. And now I am willing to give the floor to Mr. Christoph Blettler, Secretary General of Association of Machine Tools Developers. Mr. Blettler, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm trying to share my screen with you. I hope this works. Yes, obviously all our businesses are influenced by the pandemic developments, and we all have to see how we can get our industry a step further. For that, we believe the exhibitions and conferences have a very important role and play an important part. Therefore, we have stressed also specifically this time with our presence at Metalloobrabotka this point, but not only we are supporting from the Swiss side a joint technological conference called ACMT, takes a week after the exhibition, and is a project between the Russian State University Stankin and the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. So to bring all together, it needs that the peers get engaged between industry, academia, and other facilitators. Therefore, it is also an important role to play for the international association and the international association networks to bring the stakeholder together. We will here long-standing relationships can only help. And for I have to say, I miss this exchange we are having here. Our Russian counterpart, which may be whoever, but also Mr. Gertz, for example, stressed that Sesimo is very interested to exchange further information and data. However, for this, it is necessary that there is a national machine tool builders association who takes part in international events, as we do here at this occasion. So we try to have this approach in a result-orientated way and not in a dogmatic way. We always believe to produce results, small, medium, or big. It is always better than to make, I don't know what other points. So just to conclude my side, we will also have a symposium organized during the Metalloobrabotka, where we try to bring some scientists from the conference to facilitate exchange with industry. This will take place on May 27th. This is also the planned day for the visit of the Swiss ambassador at the show. And then as mentioned, will take place in the week after the exhibition, from May 31st to June 2nd at the Stankin University in Moscow. This is as far what I wanted to exchange with you, and I hope to really see you at the end of May personally in the Swiss pavilion at Metalloobrabotka in pavilion 8.1. Thank you very much.
Господин Блетлер.
Mr. Butler, many thanks for you, and we do hope to see you at the exhibition. We are very glad that in the framework of this project, we conduct the Day of Switzerland in Russia, and will assist you in conducting this day. Many thanks to you. Now I'm willing to give the floor to Bartoli Colombo, chairman of the Italian Association for Robots and Auxiliary. Ms. Colombo, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning.
Да, мы видим презентацию. Спасибо, да.
To everyone. Thank you for this invitation. Allow me to greet everyone on behalf of UCIMO, the Italian Association of Machine Tools, Robots and Automatic Manufacturers, which I have the honor to chair. I would like, first of all, to thank the Expo Center that, with the support of Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russian Federation, has organized this very interesting web meeting that is focusing on machine tools outlook. I'm very glad to stay with you for a few minutes virtually and to talk about our industry. Just a few slides showing the main figures regarding our market. This slide shows the output of machine tools manufacturer in the world. The worldwide output of machine tool in 2020 reached approximately 59 billion euros. Italy, as you can see from this chart, with a production that in 2020 exceeded 4.5 billion euros, played an important role in the international scenario, ranking at the fourth place. Within the machine tools exporting countries, Italy is at the first place with 2.6 billion euro exported, and the fifth place as a consuming country. This slide is listing the main countries where Italian machine tools are exported. So it means the countries of destination. Russia, as you can see, represented in 2020 the seventh market for our export, for a total purchase value of 100 million euros, 16% less than the previous year due to the pandemic. Starting from, okay. As you can see here, Italy is the second European supplier of machine tools on the Russian market after Germany, and the third on a global basis after China. These data point out the good feeling that exists between Italian manufacturers and Russian companies. The Russian companies till now always appreciated the super customized solution that Italians are good in providing. Italian companies have a competitive advantage that is recognized in all the world by everyone. It's high technological standards, the strong customization of the offer, the attention and the listening to the customer needs, and an efficient post-sales service. Moreover, as you know, the Italian government introduced very big incentives in the field of Industry 4.0. Therefore, Italian companies invested a lot of money in the digital dimension that is very present in our solution. Digitization, advanced sensors, interconnection, automation, and remote control of machines and industrial processes make Italy offer very, very competitive nowadays. Well, now I would like to mention the long-lasting collaboration between Italian machine tools companies and Russian industry. Always with an approach of partnership and always with the support of Italian trade agency. First of all, I would like to mention our mutual cooperation in the exhibitions activity. As you know, in particular, UCIMU considers since ever really important the participation at Metalloobrabotka. Also this year, with all the difficulties that are caused by the pandemic, there will be 25 Italian companies that have already confirmed their presence at the end of May, attending the Metalloobrabotka 2021. Then this year, there is also another important and qualified participation. Italy is the partner country at Innoprom in July at Ekaterinburg. Then I would like to mention the partnership that since 2012 has involved UCIMU in the project of the Technological Center at the Stankin University in Moscow, equipped with Italian machines that gives importance to education of students and technicians. In 2019, again, with the collaboration of Stankin University, Politecnico of Milano, we can co-organize the Italian-Russian Forum of Machine Tools. That was a very good occasion to dialogue for future project between Italy and Russian companies. We have also a technology awards with Russian university and students. The award is a week in Italy, visiting our companies, experiencing Italian way of working and living. Moreover, we are looking forward to welcome Russian companies to visit Italian exhibitions such as IMO, that this year will be held in Milano, as Mr. Philip Geertz already mentioned, BIMU and Lamiera. This is the logo of EMO that will be held in Milano from the 4th to the 9th October. After Metalloobrabotka, EMO will be for sure the international leading fair for metalworking that we have the possibility to, okay. The EMO is promoted by SESIMO, the European Association of Machine Tools Industry, and it is organized by UCIMU. Machine tools, robots, enabling technologies and automation solutions for interconnected and digital factories and additive manufacturing will be the products and technologies that you will be able to deal with at the EMO Milano in 2021. This is just to remember that the Italian government invested a lot and gave money to Italian companies to introduce this solution of digitalization in their machines, but give also the possibility to get incentive to Italian companies that buy new generation machine tools. So this is the reason why EMO will be a good place to do great businesses, because there are a lot of opportunities in Italy for 2021, 2022 and 2023. The exhibition center of Fiera Milano will be at EMO Milano operators' disposal, perfectly integrated with the national and international public transfer systems, with more than 350,000 square meters available. At the EMO, as Mr. Geertz mentioned before, there will be a wide range of products, but also ancillary initiatives to further enhance participation of the operators at the show. So I would like to invite everyone to the next trade show in Milano, EMO, in October, and we are looking forward to meet you in Milano. Thank you for the attention.
Госпожа Коломбо, спасибо.
Ms. Colombo, many thanks for participation, for your presentation. Thanks for invitation and figures which you mentioned. We convinced ourselves once again that Russia and Italy are leading partners in the industry of machine building, machines, and we do hope to see you at the exhibition Metalloobrabotka. You also mentioned some partners, including your association, Stankin, and other Russian universities. I am willing to assure that they will all be at our site, and you may conduct the necessary negotiations in May in Moscow. Once again, thanks for invitation. And now many thanks, Ms. Colombo. And now I am willing to address Director General Alexei Patrick. Mr. Patrick, I'm willing to give you the floor so as you speak about significance of Metalloobrabotka for companies from Czech Republic.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to greet you all in the name of Czech Association of Engineering Technology, SST. My presentation is just verbal. The Metalloobrabotka trade fair in Moscow, whose 21st year will take place in extraordinary conditions of the global pandemic COVID-19, is traditionally one of the most important and most visited international trade fairs in the field of mechanical engineering and machine tools. During its existence, it has gained a very good reputation among the world's machine tool manufacturers and the professional public, that every year it becomes an extremely attractive place for the presentation of progressive technologies in our branch. Machine tools and forming machines have been one of the most important items of Czech export to the Russian market for many years, where Czech machines have always had a good sound. Undoubtedly, the trade was also successful due to linguistic proximity and close ties between our countries, which, however, went through various historical turnarounds. This tradition was successfully renewed after the temporary evacuation of the Eastern market during the 1990s, and the volume of Czech export of machine tools rose relatively steeply until 2013-2014, when it peaked at an annual value of 107 million euros. At that time, the export of machine tools to Russia was on the second place after the export to Germany. In the following years, on the contrary, it decreased significantly due to the announced sanctions, and now, of course, also due to the pandemic situation. Therefore, it's very positive news that after last year's outage, the tradition of the Moscow Fair will be renewed this year, even though in a format that the current situation allows. According to the latest reports, 8 Czech exhibitors have already registered to participate in the fair, mostly through their subsidiaries or sales offices in the Russian Federation. The Association of Engineering Technology and also the Ministry of Industry and Trade of the Czech Republic have always supported the participation of Czech companies in the Metalloobrabotka trade fair. Cooperation with the partner association Stanko Instrument and the Association of Mechanical Engineering of the Russian Federation opened up the potential of possibilities to apply Czech machines and modern technologies even better on the Russian market. At least this was indicated by the conclusions of regular meetings between the management of SST and representatives of these organizations which took regularly at Metalloobrabotka trade fair. The presentation of Czech machine tool manufacturers in recent years is also aided by SST's cooperation with the joint stock company Export Center, which was optimized mainly after 2015 on the basis of a newly formulated contract, according to which SST became the main partner of Export Center in the purchase of exhibition space for Czech exhibitors. In the future, we hope that the situation in terms of health, but also international politics, will stabilize so much that the main obstacles of the successful development of trade relations between the Czech Republic and the Russian Federation will be removed, and trade fairs, whether Metalloobrabotka or International Engineering Fair in Brno, will not only be a place for the presentation of top engineering technology, but also a place for friendly meetings of manufacturers and professionals from around the world, and that the wise sentence of John Davison Rockefeller Sr. will apply again, that it's always better to base friendship on successful business than business on friendship. Thank you very much for your attention.
Спасибо, господин.
Thank you, Mr. Paslak. Дякую for your participation. We look forward to seeing you and Czechoslovakia producers in May here. Thank you for your support. One of the strategic partners of the global markets for Russia is China, and I would like to give floor to Vice President of Chinese machine engineering industry, Mr. Van Lumen. The floor is yours. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you, of course. Good. Distinguished Sergei Selivanov, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to be visiting that event and to see many old friends. Now, I am representing a Chinese Association of Machine Engineering Industry, ITBA, and today, by visiting that online event, I would like to extend my friendship and regards to my old friends. First of all, allow me to share the results of our Chinese exhibition, CCMT 2021. CCMT 2021 is supported by our association and our International Exhibition Center. The exhibition has just finished. From the 12th to the 17th of April, I have just returned after lunch from that exhibition, and I have finalized my work there. This time, the exhibition, due to the pandemic, the exhibition was attended by a few international players from 27 countries. About 900 companies were there this year. 633 global exhibitors. The total area of the exhibition was 135 square meters. We had American, German, Swiss, Japanese, Italian, South Korean, Spanish, the UK, French, Czech, Indian, Hong Kong and Taiwan, China. So 13 countries and regions participated in our exhibition. The Machine Engineering Association attended that exhibition. CCMT 2021 has been using the developmental topics and support of future trends in the industry. We think that that topic would be very clearly showing the development and participation of the Chinese market in that industry going forward. And I would like to strengthen this trend for that development. There is an integration of data and technologies. And the development has been going very fast. Using big data and smart production and artificial intelligence, those technologies are mature now. And a lot of deep changes are taking place. Artificial intelligence and big data are one of the trends for that development. Now, it's a general values in the world in our industry. Our companies have been fully represented at the exhibition. A total number of visitors at the exhibition surpassed 0.2 million people. There is a little decline versus last year by 11.75%. The major reason is due to the virus, especially for international visitors and exhibitors. Most of participants came from the Southeast Asia, from Taiwan. A few trading groups came from there, and they got special influence due to the pandemic this time. The CCMT exhibition, for the first time, have surpassed the scheduled number of visitors. The quality of the exhibition was at a very high level. Due to the pandemic, the Chinese government made us use a number of limitations. We have increased the level of protection from the pandemic at the exhibition. And however, all visitors were happy to visit it. It is also worth mentioning that this time CCMT offered online and offline participation modes. We think that being an organizer of the exhibition, we have to improve the level of such events. Besides, the quality of goods, 3D models, various types of expression and demonstrations at the exhibition showing our products. So we have to do that. In addition, we need to conduct online events. Those new tools would help us to increase the quality of matchmaking in the industry. We could exchange technical data, we can discuss questions, and we can also just do that online. We have also extended the range of exhibitions that could be attended online. You can use the software and you can visit the expo fairgrounds to see the atmosphere, to touch the stuff, preliminary and over the internet. You could also make your dreams come true, and you can search for additional tools to do so. In order to have a better and convenient visiting of expo centers, we have offered special Chinese tools in terms of online WeChat checking in procedure. So you could have you have to supply documents in advance for every visitor. Apart from that, we have also organized a high-speed printing facilities on site. Speaking about the exhibition equipment, we have deeply changed the configuration by extending the internet throughput capacity of our event. We improved the registration quality using the WeChat number and our public accounts in WeChat, so we have worked on our public WeChat accounts. So every line of activities was reworked. There is a roadmap that we have conducted and created for further cooperation. That area has been well developed. Our CCMT exhibition offers new options for cooperation. Apart from WeChat registration and other options, we were using online and offline registration. For instance, if a meeting starts at the exhibition, we organized international representatives of a bigger forum. So we also organized an event for 70,000 visitors. So that option for the forum is playing a big role in order to deliver the requirements that we have to comply with. So we were using various options of registration. Quality of products and other elements are also important. Following that, having finalized our exhibition, we talked to participants, and I'm happy that today, using that video capabilities, I am capable of talking to my colleagues. So once again, my best regards to old friends, and thank you very much.
И за те цифры о проекте выставочном, который вы назвали, они очень завидные, поэтому поздравляем вас. Хотелось бы напомнить, что на самом деле Китай был первым.
Please be reminded that China is the country that to resumed its exhibition activities that happened last June with all those limitations, but we do hope that our traditional exhibition activities in full would be resumed soon. No limitations, well, the limitations will be lifted for transportation of people. That's important for business and visitors. We're now covering a lot of countries, and now I would like to give a floor to our British colleagues. My pleasure is to give a floor to James Selka, CEO of the Manufacturing Technologies Association, MTA. What are the news from the UK, Mr. Selka, after Brexit?
Everyone, thank you very much, and congratulations to the entire team at the Expo Centre. Today, actually, is Her Majesty the Queen's birthday, for those who didn't know, so it's a very good day here in the UK. Obviously, like everybody else, we've had a torrid time over the last 12 months, but there have been some high points. I think the UK was the only country that if you needed a ventilator, there was always one for you, and that was thanks to the manufacturing capability in the UK, supported, of course, by our members. So the production of ventilators in the UK went from 100 per month to 10,000 a month within 10 weeks, which is a wonderful demonstration of not only the national will to achieve things, but also, of course, to the incredible manufacturing technology provided by all of our members. I won't repeat what everybody else has said, but there is a clear improvement in the market. In the UK, it's a little bit patchy because we are quite reliant on civil aerospace and also automotive. But obviously medical instruments and defence are going very well, and some of our members are reporting higher output than 2018. Post-Brexit, it's very unclear how it's going to end out. I don't know what's been reported in your respective countries, but certainly it hasn't been smooth, but it equally hasn't been quite as disastrous as we all feared. And we at the MTA are very proud and grateful to remain not only part of this incredible international network, but also, of course, of the Sessimo family. The main sticking point about Brexit is, of course, the Irish border in the Irish Sea, and it appears that that proposed solution is not going to work in the long term. So we'll just have to see how that works out. I also would like to thank VDW for their comments on the future of shows. We completely agree with them. We think hybrid is the way forward in order to extend and add to the value of all the participants. So we have a new digital platform that we've put on top of ours, which allows buyers and sellers to interact prior to the show and indeed afterwards. And I'd like to also thank Uchimo for inspiring our government, which we've been communicating with heavily, into providing incentives in the budget this year for capital investments in machine tools and Industry 4 type investments, and that has made a big difference. So thank you very much to Italy for that idea. All I have to say now is congratulations also to Mr. Wang and his team at CMTBA for putting an amazing show on last month and really leading the industry after COVID. And we would like to convey our thanks once more and congratulations and the best wishes to all the team at Expo Center for your show next month in Moscow. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Больших успехов в его деятельности. Большое спасибо.
Господин Силка, спасибо.
Many thanks, Mr. Selka, for your warm words. We are willing to wish you all the best personally and in your business. We are waiting for you as a guest in the exhibition. And now we shall go back to Asia. And now I'm willing to address Chairman of the Association of Machine Buildings of Taiwan. What occasions give Metalloobrabotka for metal producers from China, from Taiwan?
主持人还有线上的各国的产业代表。
Associations, good morning.
那台湾台湾目前的工具机产业在整个供应链都非常的完整。那在台湾有中高的工具机，那现在我们主要是销往中国、美国、土耳其、泰国跟印度，尤其是俄罗斯。这几年是我们成长非常快的一个工具机产业。
So Taiwan is good at producing high-end and middle-end machine tools. And recent years, our top export markets are China, USA, Turkey, Thailand, India, and Russia.
那在欧洲，像 AMO 展览的厂商，大概台湾的 厂商的报名大概是排名第3，尤其在上一次的展览，我们大概有250家厂商在欧洲拓展市场，那可见台湾在于欧洲的市场是非常受到重视的。
And in 2019, in the EMO exhibition, Taiwan was the 3rd largest exhibiting country, and showing that Taiwan's determination in participating in international machine tool exhibition and our manufacturers' determination in selling our machine tools to all over the world.
那么现在俄罗斯占我们台湾公积机出口大概将近4%，也是出口在我们台湾占有第6名。那我想在这几年一直在成长当中。
And ranking number 6, Russia takes up 3.9% of Taiwan's machine tool exports, and in recent years, this percentage is keep growing.
那我们主要的大概有车床跟总和加工机跟锻造，还有冲压成型，还有公积机及零组件都直线的成长。
The main export products to Russia are lathes, machining centers, and presses and shearing machines.
那我们预估大概2022年对俄罗斯的出口将会有15% 的成长。
It is estimated that the export to Russia will have a growth of more than 15% in 2021.
那俄罗斯的在公积机展，我想台湾有很多厂商会继续报名。那台湾的公积机在整个高端的机型还有零组件的优质化。我想台湾的公积机在整个俄罗斯能够增加俄罗斯的航太，还有整个经济的成长的设备，我想这个对于2方面的未来的合作有相当好的一个商机。
Metalloobrabotka is the most important machine tool show in Russia, and there is no doubt that it is one that Taiwan machine tool manufacturers will always make sure to participate. And we believe that this show will bring great business opportunity to both Russia and Taiwan.
那台湾的公积机整个产业有完整的产业链都是在中部地区，那每次在国际展，尤其是芝加哥、EMO， 还有在意大利，还有在日本的展览，都是在前5名的厂商的报名。所以在这次，我想俄罗斯跟台湾的公积机在俄罗斯的5月份的展览，一定会创造很多的佳绩。希望未来台湾的公积机产业能够加强跟俄罗斯来合作，预祝我们5月的展览圆满成功。
For example, in IMTS, in Jimtov, in EMO, Taiwan is always the top exhibiting countries in these exhibitions, and we believe that in the Metalloobrabotka, Taiwan's exhibitors will show their power as well. And finally, we hope that you'll have a successful exhibition in May. Thank you very much.
谢谢各位。
Thank you everyone for listening.
Большое спасибо всем за то, что меня послушали.
Спасибо большое.
Many thanks, Mr. Xu, for participation. We'll also wait for you at our event. And now we propose to give the floor to Seko Aysegin, Secretary General of Turkish Association of Machine Building. Mr. Aysegin, the floor is yours.
First of all, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to speak about Turkish Machine Manufacturers Association. Hello, everybody. I will try to be very brief, so I will not use my presentation. So I will give you brief information about MIB Turkish Machine Manufacturers Association, about Turkish machine industry, and the last but not the least, our relations with Russia and Metalloobrabotka. Turkish Machine Manufacturers Association, established in 1990, it's a sectoral association representing manufacturers of machines, equipments, and accessories. MIB is the only non-governmental organization in Turkey covering the entire machinery sector. And as MIB, we have the 200 companies as member. Those companies are the prominent Turkish machine companies in Turkey. So let me give you some brief figures about Turkish machinery sector. In the past 2 decades, the Turkish machinery sector has developed in an important amount. In 2020, the exports of Turkish machinery was $17.1 billion. And 2020, in 2020 also, the imports of Turkey in machinery sector was $24.8 billion. In 2020, the export rate, as I said, $17.1 billion, and it is roughly more than 10% of total Turkish export. So it's an important figure for us. In Turkey, we have approximately 400,000 employees in the machinery sector, and about 20,000 companies in the machinery sector. And fairs are also a really important item for MIB, for Turkish Machine Manufacturers Association. In abroad, MIB is the representative of MO fairs in Turkey, and also in Turkey, MIB is representing many important machinery fairs in Istanbul, in Izmir, in Bursa, the most important cities of Turkey. Also, MIB is the member of important international organizations like SESIMO, like PN Europe, and Eurotrans. We are proud to be the member of SESIMO, PN Europe, and Eurotrans. And our relations with Russia also is very important, also in the machinery sector. Our machinery export to Russia in 2020, it was $553 million. In 2014, it was $476 million. So in the pandemic time, we have more than 16% increase. So it was an important amount to us. And Russia in machinery sector is our 6th largest partner. So it is really important. Machine tools also are important sub-item in our machinery export export to Russia, and roughly 20% of Turkish machinery export to Russia is machine tools and forming machines. So as MIB, we participated Metalloobrabotka exhibition in 2015, in 2016, in 2018, and in 2019. So hope to reach the normal conditions, and we are wishing to participate the next coming Metalloobrabotka exhibitions in Russia. So as MIB, Russia is an important partner for Turkey. we have strong relations with Russia and Russian regions. For example, last month we were in Kazan in Tatarstan, one of the important and industrialized region of Russia. And we are, as Turkish machine manufacturers, we are elaborating, investing in Russia, in Tatar, and also Tatarstan. So Russia is an important partner to us. As I said, I will be very brief. So thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Господин
Mr. Aypekin, many thanks for participation, and we do hope that thanks to you for Metalloobrabotka exhibition, we may strengthen our trade and economic relation between Russia and Turkey. Many thanks for you. We'll wait for you at the exhibition. And now I'm willing to give the floor for closing remarks, last but not least, to Belay, Executive Director and Head of Exhibition Association of from India. Mr. Belay, the floor is yours.
Микрофон, пожалуйста. Ага.
Please switch on your microphone.
Yes, hello, we can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, gentlemen. Distinguished panelists, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to all the participants in this panel discussions organized by AO Expo Center with the support of Ministry of Trade and with the Russian Federation. Thank you for the opportunity given to RMGMA to be present at this panel discussion. I'll just briefly touch upon the Indian economy as well as the machine tool industry in India and also the exhibition that we do. India's aspirations to be clear in the manufacturing sector and opening up the economy. India has set a target to become US $5 trillion economy by 2025, and the contribution to the manufacturing industry towards this is expected to be $1 trillion. The COVID pandemic has posed a major challenge, but it is expected that the Indian economy will recover strongly in the next few years. International organizations like IMF has predicted a strong growth for the Indian economy. India is under the national lockdown for coronavirus during the first wave last year, and with the industry being affected productions and consumption. However, with the lockdown being lifted somewhere in June 2020, industries began their operation in a calibrated manner. Government also stepped in announcing various stimulus packages we needed to steer industries in the right direction. Gradually, industries recovered well and began reporting good business generation. Indian machine tool industry has around 1,000 units, of which 500 are OEMs, and the rest of them are in the supply chain. Machine tool domestic production for 1920 was estimated to be around 868 million. Consumption was around 2,200 million. Import constitutes around 55%. Indian machine tool industry is ranked 7th in consumption and 17th in production. Globally, as per the Gartner Intelligence and World Machine Tool Survey Report 2019. Some of the major customers of the Indian machine tool industry has been automotive, die and mold, general engineering, railways, furniture, consumer durable, etc. The Indian state of Karnataka is a leader among the machine tool manufacturing clusters in India, producing around 15% of the machine tool of India value. Machine tool consumptions in India are expected to be growing around 8 to 10% year on year. Government is also encouraging local manufacturing through various measures, like the tax rate reduced from 30 to 25% for existing manufacturing units. New units coming into productions by 2013 will have a tax rate of 15%, which is the lowest in the world. Most manufacturing doesn't require a license. No restrictions on the joint ventures are welcome in the manufacturing industry. Department of Heavy Industries, Government of India, Government of Karnataka, and IMTMA has come together and established a machine tool park called the Tumkur Machine Tool Park, a fully integrated setup to promote growth of machine tool industry, which is located around 40 kilometers from Bangalore. The machine tool park offers ready-to-build industrial plots, machine tools, related business to set up manufacturing units. We invite Russian machine tool companies to use this facility and set up a manufacturing unit at this technology park. All these are conducive for Russian manufacturers to set up manufacturing facilities in India. Machine tool, IMTMA plays a key role in the growth and development of the machine tool industry in India, having 450 members and as a single point of contact for machine tool industry in India. We prepare a country report on Russia to help our members to understand the overall Russian market scenario across various sectors, which will improve the influence machine tool business in Russia and also explore opportunities to grow the business tie-up between India and Russian companies. Indian machine tool industry ready to develop good trade relations involving local channel, sales and service partner, network, and well-established local dealership trader and engineering solution provider to serve the Russian market. IMTMA desires to establish strong relations with Stanko Instrument, which is a counterpart of IMTMA in Russia. IMTMA organizes IMTEX and Tooltech, which is Southeast Asia's largest exhibitions in metalworking, and it's organized at its own venue, BIC in Bangalore. IMTEX 2021 was scheduled in January 21, which was got cancelled or postponed to June 21. Again, due to the race in the second wave, it had to be postponed, rescheduled in January 22, along with IMTEX forming. So IMTEX this year would be IMTEX cutting and IMTEX forming together in January 2022. IMTMA also celebrated 50 years of IMTEX in the year 2019. IMTEX in Tooltech has been rescheduled, as mentioned, in January 22. And some of these side events would be Tooltech and digital manufacturing, focusing on additive manufacturing. Industry 4.0 will be held concurrently. IMTMA has also been organizing regional shows and going closer to the user industries. Like we have shows in the northern region of India, which is in Delhi, in the western part in Pune, and the southern part in Chennai.
Господин Пилай.
Mr. Pillai, are you finished?
Спасибо вам большое, спасибо за участие.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you for your input. Dear partners, dear colleagues, we have finished our agenda. But before we are going to summarize our event, today there are representatives of the media in our studio, and I would like to ask a question to them. Do they have questions to our participants today? Could you please unmute your microphone? We cannot hear you. It's better now. I have a question. Could you stay closer to the mic for us to be able to hear you well? A question to Mr. Philip Kertz. Mr. Gertz, are you with us? All right. Mr. Gertz, the global experts has fallen down, but the machine tool experts in Russia is in a worse situation because of the sanctions and pandemic. And I'm in the December resolution by the Russian government for the minimum share of domestic goods purchase. The government companies in the coming 3 years should be buying at least 70% of Russian-made machine tools, of the entire machine tools. And given that new factor. What can you foresee the experts of machine tool industry experts in Russia, and what is going to be the impact on the exhibition industry?
Thank you. I'm not 100% sure if I completely understood the question, but indeed I can confirm you that the exports from CESIMO countries to Russia decreased in 2020. I think you mentioned the sanctions and the pandemic. I think that the decrease of our exports to Russia is mainly due to the pandemic, because the sanctions were already ongoing in previous years. And over those years, we saw still a slight increase of our exports. On the other hand, it's true that our imports from Russia increased drastically. So what will have impact of the sanctions on our participation in exhibitions? I think that was the specific question. Even if the circumstances are more difficult to do business, then we have to do even more marketing and promotion. And for sure, then I think it's even more important to be present at representative trade fairs like the ones organized by Metalloobrabotka in Russia.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Gertz. Thank you for your question. Any other question, colleagues? Please introduce yourself. Hello, the publishing house. I am Marina, editor-in-chief of that publishers. My question goes to Pavel Shabalov. You have mentioned the fact that the companies could get compensated for the marketing costs for exhibitions. What are the criteria for those companies to get reimbursed for taking part in exhibitions? Are there any limits? And what is the maximum percentage of such costs to be reimbursed? Answer. Look, by the cost itself, this is the rental of the just acreage and registration fee that have to be compensated, that the company has incurred to the amount of one event per one company. If the company is a smaller and medium enterprise, this is 0.7 million rubles. If it's a major company, 2 million rubles. And that support measure every company can enjoy not more than 3 times per year. So the company could take part in 3 exhibitions per year and get reimbursed. So the limit for small and medium businesses, 2.1 million rubles and 6 million rubles for major companies. As for the requirements, the major requirements are classic for all subsidies recipients. So you have to be registered in Russia as a sole proprietor or a corporation, not to have any tax problems, not to be under liquidation and bankruptcy. So it's pretty basic. It's the governmental decree 2316 as of the 28th of December. So as for other criteria, scoring or something, it is missing in that governmental decree. However, there is the performance indicator, because the national projects provide for budgetary efficiency. So they have to be effective in terms of support, and to be able to get reimbursed for a exhibition participation, the company should submit the signed-off expert contract following that exhibition, and that amount should surpass the subsidy this year in 2021 for at least 400%, next year 600%, and starting 2023, 900%. So if the company pretends for 0.7 million rubles in 2021, the contract signed should be 4 times bigger like at least 2.8 million rubles to get compensation like that. And we're not talking that the contract should be signed at the exhibition itself. I mean, the expert cycle is a lengthy time, but it should be concluded after the exhibition or following the exhibition, and this is the only criteria. We have not limited the number of events or the list of events, because the classic funding model for reimbursement that we have for collective booths, we have limits for a certain list, so only those money is reimbursed that it's on the list, but there is no list here because we will not be able to encompass or include all exhibitions, and other criteria would be just a limiting barrier, and the company would tell us, hey, why we are not on the list? And that's going to be, it makes no sense, because if companies go in there, it showed effectiveness, why should we just put any limitations on it? I hope that I answered your question. Thank you, Pavel. Thank you, Marina, for your questions. Any other questions, colleagues? Sergey, may I have a question? Go ahead. A question to Senora Colomba, if she is still with us. If not, let me email her. All right, I think that all of the speakers would be represented at the exhibition. Pavel, you would have a chance to talk face-to-face to all our roundtable participants. So, colleagues, if there are no more questions, let me summarize the roundtable results. I'm grateful to all of you for participation in that roundtable. It was dedicated to our upcoming Metalloobrabotka metalworking exhibition in May. My thanks goes to the Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade for that support that you are giving to us on a systemic basis to Expo Center Fairgrounds, including Metalloobrabotka exhibition. My thanks goes to all Russian and online international partners. Today, we have been able to listen up to each other from 10 countries, so it's like 82 hours around the globe, and using all the advantages of the internet and digitalization and our cooperation, I'm grateful to everyone. We have just discussed briefly the hot topics of Congress and exhibition activities, and we have also just dived deeper into the machine industry trends. Those issues are going to be considered in more detail during the exhibition at the business program. We were able to hear that there could be days of certain countries attended by ambassadors. There's going to be a Swiss day. Everybody's invited there. We look forward to meeting you at the exhibition. We hope that it's going to be a start, a new start for all Congress and exhibition events for machine tool and metalworking in the world this year. You're all welcome to Expo Center Fairgrounds. We're happy to welcome you, to talk to you. If you have any extra, requirements, offers, feedback, please go ahead. Yelena Guseva, my partners from Rossiya agency, were always ready to be able to listen to you. My thanks goes to all my colleagues for technical support of that event. Indeed, despite the fact that online is part and parcel of our life today, we can see sometimes our technical malfunctions happen. All the best to you, and welcome to Metalloobrabotka 2021 this May in Moscow. All the best, and until next time.